everyone, and welcome to this week's video. I will be doing a short series on very basic Xiangqi endgame situations, and this will be the first video in the series, as promised in my earlier videos. Before we begin, some basic terminology is required. A book win would refer to a win by the stronger party in a situation whereby no matter how brilliantly the weaker side tries to defend, he will not be able to save his own king, and the player with the stronger side will be guaranteed a victory. A positional win, on the other hand, would refer to a situation whereby the outcome is not clear, or it will be very hard for either side to win. However, because of the positioning of the pieces, a win can be obtained by one of the parties. Similar definitions would also follow, as in book draws and positional draws. And in my books and my website, I've developed a simple system whereby I would use the pieces in this order to show to categorize the various endgame situations in Xiangqi. In today's first video, I will be doing a very simple short video on basic one chariot versus an enemy defensive pieces. So there are several situations to consider, and these are very basic, and feel free to skip the video if you know them already. So a chariot is a bookwind against a solitary advisor, elephant, or even a combination of a one advisor, one elephant, two advisors, two elephants, or even a one advisor, two elephants, or two advisors, one elephant situation. However, a chariot versus an enemy full guard would not necessarily be a bookwind situation for the chariot. In fact, most of the times it will be considered to be a book draw. It will be considered to be a draw, but there are many instances whereby positional wins can be achieved if the positioning of the defensive pieces were poor. Okay, to begin with, this will be perhaps the simplest endgame situation of one chariot versus one advisor. So there are many ways for red to win. One of them would be to capture the advisor, for the checkmate by stalemate, or to deliver a white-faced general checkmate, as mentioned earlier. So the king would play a crucial role in such endgame situations, and this would be a checkmate by stalemate. Another way to win by stalemate would be in such a manner: the red king will be in the same file as the black king, and there is only one advisor in between the two kings. With the red chariot at the centroid, the black advisor cannot move, so this would in effect be a checkmate by stalemate. And as mentioned earlier, another way for red to win would be to apply the white-faced general checkmate. The king cannot move to the central file because it has been controlled by the red king. This would perhaps sum up the endgame situation for this topic. So we shall now examine the endgame situation for one chariot versus one elephant. In such an endgame situation of one chariot versus an enemy lone elephant, capturing the elephant would be the key topic or the key issue here. And as there are only 7 intersections whereby an elephant can move, if the chariot were placed here or here, the elephant will be caught no matter how. And again, after capturing the enemy elephant, the chariot could win with a checkmate by stalemate or the white-faced general checkmate. So in this situation, for example, if red were to capture the black elephant, checkmate. Once you have mastered the previous two endgame situations, the rest of the endgame situations were built on the simpler endgame situations. So in this case, black would have an advisor and an elephant to protect, and one of the easiest ways for red to win would be to attack the black elephant, capture it to simplify it to one chariot versus one advisor endgame situation. So for example, in this endgame situation, and the black elephant will be caught. Red could also start with R7 equals to 5 to threaten to capture the elephant. So once it moves away, the king can be used to assist in the capture of the advisor, and this also would be a book win situation for red. Even if the enemy had two advisors, it would still be an easy win for the chariot. So there are many ways to do so, and shown in this diagram is one of the methods. This would be a checkmate by stalemate, and if the chariot were placed here, it would be a white face general checkmate. Black's advisors in this endgame situation would be called the ram horn advisors, and red would still easily win. So in this situation, red could win with the following moves. R5 equals to 6 would be the most efficient attack that red could have in this situation. It will control and prevent the black king from obtaining an open file, and will force the black king to this file. As with the red king controlling the central file, the only legal move that black can make would be K5 equals to 6. And after the black king has moved here, red will attack will traverse his chariot to the same flank as the black king and prepare for an attack. At this point, the black king cannot return to the central file, or red will simply checkmate with R2 plus 3. So black would be forced to move the black advisor. If the black advisor were moved here, red will simply deliver a check and capture it. And it is at this point the red king will be used to help to capture the black advisor. So at this point, two possible variations are discussed. The first one would be R6 equals to K6 plus 1. So red would threaten to capture the black advisor by force with use of the royal rule, and black would be forced to defend in this manner, and red will immediately deliver a check and deliver a checkmate by stalemate. So if black did not choose to play K6 plus 1 and chose to move his king to the center, what would happen? So again, red would force the black king to the centroid, where once it is at this position, the black advisors cannot be linked, and this would be when red would traverse his chariot to the same file as the black advisor and prepare to capture it by force, and simplify the endgame to the first endgame situation shown in this video. So it will be the book win situation for the chariot when facing an opponent with two advisors. So we shall now examine the next endgame situation of one chariot versus two enemy elephants. One chariot versus two enemy elephant endgame situation will be more complex than the earlier endgames introduced. One of the key points about this endgame situation would be the ability of the red chariot to control both elephants at the same time. And another important thing would be to try to force one of the black elephants to the river bank, as you will see later on. So for red to win, red could start with f5 equals to 2. With this move, red would threaten to deliver a check, forcing the king here, and then capture the black elephant, making use of the royal rule. So 3 possibilities are discussed. The first one would be r3 plus 1. The second one will be k5 equals to 6, and the third one will be k5 equals to 4. So e3 plus 1 would provide the most stubborn defense for black, and we shall examine this main line slightly later on. If the black king chose to move to an open rib file, on the opposite side, red would attack in this manner, and at this point the red chariot would now be controlling both the black elephants and also prevent the black king from returning to the bottom rank. The black king cannot move k6 plus 1, or red would checkmate with r5 equals to 4. So at this point, black would be forced to move either one of the elephants, which will result in the other elephant being captured. If black chose to move his king to the 4th file, this would be an even worse situation, because after the check, the king will actually will be at the elephant's eye and actually block the black elephants from linking up together. So the elephant is simply captured, and red will simply capture the next elephant and win it very easily. So in this situation, black's most stubborn line of defense would be to move e3 plus 1, and red would also still continue to attack the bottom rank, and this would be a key move for red to make in this endgame situation. With r2 equals to 9, the black elephant would be denied from returning to the bottom rank. If it did, red would simply capture it and make use of the royal rule to capture the elephant. So with the elephant being threatened, the only move that black can make will be e1 plus 3. So just for the beginners, if black chose to retreat his elephant, red will simply capture it. The black elephant cannot take revenge, or the kings will be facing each other. So once the elephant is herded to the riverbank, the next very key move for red to move would be r9 equals to 7. Again, the royal rule is made use of, and red will control both the elephants indirectly. So at this point, 3 possible scenarios will be discussed. Say the first one will be k5 equals to 6, the second one will be k5 equals to 4, and the last one would be retreating the elephant to the edge file. And if black were to do so, red will simply retreat his chariot to this position. So no matter where the elephant moved, red will simply capture it, as the central black elephant cannot move. So this would be a very quick win for red. If black chose to move his king to the same flank as the elephants, a possible line would be this. Red will immediately control the central file again and deny the elephants from returning to the central file. So black could be again the black king cannot advance, or red would checkmate with r5 equals to 6. So once the elephant is herded to the riverbank, this would be a very simple win for red. Red will retreat to the cross riverbank rank, threatening both elephants, forcing one to retreat. Then red will deliver a check, forcing the king to move away and capture the elephant again. So this would be an easy win for the red chariot. In this situation, f5 equals to 4 was discussed. If the black king moved to the other flank, the same thing would happen for the red for the red chariot. Red would immediately choose to attack the central file, forcing the elephants to move to the riverbank, and red will simply capture one of the elephants in this manner. So it's a short summary. One of the key things would be for the red chariot to be able to control both the elephants at the same time, and the second key thing for red to do would be to try to herd both elephants to the riverbank. So a quick recap. Check, and the first thing would be to force the edge elephant to the riverbank, and then threaten the elephant again. So this would effectively force the black king to move to either one of the files, and after which the red chariot will command the central file. So red's the chariot would be most efficient by attacking from the bottom rank. So this would be a capture. The elephant will be captured and red will go on to win easily. This endgame situation will be even harder than the earlier ones. Black would nearly have a full guard, but this combination of two elephants and one advisor will still be insufficient to defend against the attack of an enemy chariot. The similar principles that have been mentioned in the earlier endgame situations would still apply. So in this situation, a few things. Red could choose to do one of the following: to capture either one of the elephant or the black advisor, and to simplify the endgame situations to the ones that were discussed prior to this endgame situation. So in this endgame situation, red will start with r8 plus 4. This would be a very important move, and three things would be accomplished. First, the black elephant will be prevented from moving to the edge file, and the black's central elephant will be indirectly pinned, because if it moved, red will simply capture the advisor. And also, with this move, the black king cannot move, or the advisor would be caught. So black can only move the advisor at this point in time. So a5 minus 6 will be an okay move in this situation. If a5 minus 4 were played, red would win very quickly. So after the advisor had retreated, check, and if black retreated the elephant, it will be a checkmate after capturing the black elephant. So the black advisor will be forced to retreat, and it would be at this time that the red king would help out in the attack and capture the black elephant. So after capturing the black advisor, it will be a book win situation for the red chariot. So at this point in time, black's most stubborn defense would be to retreat the advisor to the other rib file. So red would still target the advisor, and in this situation, e3 plus 1 were played. Black would still lose if he tried to move his advisor back to the centroid again. Red would still threaten to attack the bottom rank. So if at this point the elephant moved, the advisor would be captured. And again, the red king would help the red chariot to capture the black advisor. So at this point in time, red will focus his efforts on the black advisor, targeting it mercilessly. If black moved his advisor to this place, as red will capture the black advisor in this manner. So if black advanced his advisor to the 6th file, red would still do the same thing. So after capturing the black advisor, it will be an easy win situation for the red chariot. A 1 chariot versus a 2A 1E situation would be relatively much easier than a 2 elephant 1 advisor 2 elephant situation, because in this endgame situation the simplest way for red to win would be to threaten to capture the black elephant. So after capturing the black elephant, using the method shown earlier, the remaining pieces, black's remaining 2 advisors, will become easily captured. So in this situation, red will start by attacking the black elephant, and by forcing the black king to one of the red files, red will be able to make more threats at the same time. And this will be another important move. Please remember this formation, because once this formation is reached, red will be able to capture the centroid advisor very easily. And the method shown here would be commonly used in positional wins, whereby a chariot will be able to gain victory against an full enemy guard. So a quick recap. In this endgame situation, red would make an intermediate move with the chariot to force the elephant to the riverbank. If the elephant moved back to the bottom rank, it will be easily captured with a check. So red would then make another intermediate move to force the black king to remain in the same red file. And red will now target the advisor with the help of the red king, and the rest will be history. In the endgame situation of solitary chariot versus an enemy full guard, it would usually be a draw if the full guard, or black in this case, were able to defend correctly. So again, one of the key issues would be to solidify the central file and prevent red from using any of the techniques shown in the video earlier to capture an enemy piece. As long as either an enemy elephant or advisor falls, black would lose very quickly. So in this situation, red cannot make any progress, so it will still be a draw. And in this endgame situation, you can see that black had solidified his central file very well. But a chariot versus an enemy full guard, there are many instances of positional wins that are possible, as long as the black defensive pieces are not well placed. This example was from the Elegant Pastime Manual, and it will demonstrate that the ancient Chinese had already been curious about these endgame situations over 500 years ago. And there are several endgame situations where positional wins are obtained, and they can be found in many of the ancient manuals like the Elegant Pastime Manual, The Secret in the Tangerine, etc. This example is from the Elegant Pastime Manual, and red would, although the red advisors and elephants are linked, they are malpositioned, and red will be able to force a positional win. So R7 minus 1 will be a key move. It would deny either elephant from moving, or as the other, if let's say if this elephant moved, it may be caught, or the other elephant would also be captured. Neither can the advisor move, and this would force the black king to the red file. If black chose to move his king back to the central file for safety, he would still be unable to retreat his elephant to the central file to fortify it. So red will continue his attack by traversing his chariot to the other flank, to the same flank as where the king is, and it will be an attack on the black advisor at the centroid. So at this point, two variations are discussed. The first one will be k6 minus 1, as black would try to move the king back to safety in the central file, and the other one will be to retreat the elephant. So what would happen if black decided to retreat his elephant? Again, if this situation seems familiar, it will be one of the ways of attacking, as shown earlier, or shown in an earlier video, board just now. So red will attack the advisor, check, and capture the central advisor, thus forcing the black elephant to move. Black can only move either one of the elephants, and it will be a backward situation for red now. So if black decided to retreat his king, check again. The black king is not allowed to move back to the central file. After retreating the chariot, three different variations were discussed. The first will be k6 minus 1, the second will be e3 minus 5 to fortify the central file, and the last one would be a5 plus 4, trying to move the advisors to safety. But amongst the three variations, this variation in particular will be the weakest. Red will simply catch an advisor very easily. e3 minus 5 would offer some defense, but red will attack with the method shown earlier. Check, and the centroid pawn is captured. So perhaps k6 minus 1 would offer the most stubborn defense possible. Shall go back to this move. This will be a very important move because the black elephants still cannot move and are immobilized. Yeah. So, and at this point in time, the black advisors cannot move, the black king cannot move, or the kings will be facing each other, and the only two moves that black can make will be to move the elephant, which will result in the capture of the other elephant. So positional wins are still very possible in one chariot versus a full guard endgame situation. And I would like to thank all for your support, and hopefully do more high quality videos to help spread Xiangqi. The examples used in this video presentation are from one of my books, a book called Endgame Basics, where I have collected many different situations to present to the reader. And if you like my videos thus far, please subscribe to my channel, and I thank you very much. I thank you a lot. And we shall see each other, and hopefully I'll do another video next week. Thanks again.